What's up, guys? Bambino here, back with another stream. Thanks for joining, appreciate it. Gonna be doing a little bit of flying in FSEconomy, a lot of stuff to talk about tonight. Had the big live stream from Laminar Research, so we ex-plane flyers have a lot to think about today, and debate and all that stuff, and we're gonna talk about that. Say hello to everybody. Quasme, Boeing engineer, Control Alt Jeff, Rift Flyer, Blazing Monk, M9, all you guys. Thanks for checking the stream out. Say hello in the chat if you would. I'd appreciate it. We're gonna be flying the Carenado Caravan 208B, the X-Plane 11 version tonight, and we're parked here at LaGuardia in the VR Aviation livery, which you can get on the org, X-Plane org, if you're interested. You can check that out. And yeah, so have a little fun tonight. I'm gonna go over the status of the VR Aviation Group, which is our flight FSEconomy group, growing strong. I think we have 40 members now. Pretty good for a couple weeks, and we're approaching our first $1 million in net assets, sorry, cash assets, which is pretty cool. And Nine, how you doing? And we're gonna get to all that, but first I got to do a little flight planning, figure out where the hell I'm gonna go, get the bird in the air. So anyway, let's get to that. I also want to talk about my impending PC upgrade. Gotten some advice from folks in the Bambino Games Discord. If you're not part of the Bambino Games Discord, just hit exclamation Discord in the chat, and you'll see a link. Or just go on Discord and search Bambino Games, and you'll find it and join up. We've got a bunch of different channels on there: FSE, PC Chatter, X-Plane 11, DCS. Whatever your VR aviation fancy, we're talking about it there. So check that out. And let's get the music off here and we'll get to it. So, alrighty, first some flight planning. Let's get that out of the way. Where's my, get this guy up there. Ooh. This always happens. My Chrome window never works. There we go. Okay, so got a little flight planned here from LaGuardia. Yeah, we're going from LaGuardia to Elmira and Corning Regional Airport, and then we're going to head back to LaGuardia. Going to do a round trip, about a little over 300 miles. About $12,000 in gross assets, and they're going to fly for VR Aviation, so I don't remember to do that right now. So we're flying for VR Aviation, and I've got 68 gallons of gas. Well, let's do the planning first. So I'm going to go, let's see, we're going to go KLGA and KELM. All right, so that's bringing us up here into the mountains. I want to get my, this is how I do it, guys. It might not be, it's a little different, maybe some others, but this is how I like to do it. I like to get my approach waypoint set up. That's 15 miles. I need to be about 10 miles. If I can get 10 miles, that's 8's good. All right, so we'll come right into that, right into there. We can take a look at, oops, let's go to airport diagram. So that is going to be, looks like runway 06 right here. So that's the way we'll come in, and our elevation here is going to be, where the hell is it? About 1,000 feet, 955. So now on the way out here, we're going to be hitting a little bit of elevation, so we'll probably want to fly at about, looks like about 4,000. Little peak here. That gets up to about a little close, 2,600. So 4,000 should be dandy. All right. So that will get us out to Elmira, and then we got to get back. So when we get back here, we're going to probably come in the teeter. Yeah, we'll hit teeter right there. Where's teeter? Yeah, let's see this guy. Yeah, that's a little catty cornered. Oh, that's the wrong one. Damn it. Let's move that waypoint. I could do this on ForeFlight too, but I just prefer to do it on the browser. Let's get teeter. Where's teeter? Hold on. Teeter's gonna be. Oh, that's the wrong one. Damn it! It's this one here. Let's just see which one I gotta do here. Yeah, it's this guy right here. All right, golf will be good. That'll put us right in there. All right, so that's our plan, 324 miles. Now, what I like to do to make it nice and simple, so I don't have to enter it into the bloody GP 530, which is a kind of a pain in the ass too. It's good, I don't know, just small. So I go here, I hit FPL, and I do download. And this is going to download it to my download file. And then let me show you my desktop here. Oh, can't show you that. So, but what I'm doing here is I've got a conversion program that basically converts from FPL to FMS. So I just open up that FPL. Oops, that's the wrong one. And then I'm going to create. You guys can't see this, but I'm creating a flight plan in the FMS mode. Just verifying it, and then I just drop it into a folder, and then it'll show up on the GPS list, which is great. And then I can have it for future reference if and when, probably when, I fly that route again. It's kind of cool. All right, so that's that. That's our flight plan. Pardon me, we're cold and dark. You use the AOPA planner? Okay, it's cool. Yeah, I'm just used to using SkyVector, and I used to save the flights on here, but now that I'm using ForeFlight, when I enter I just basically hand enter these flights into ForeFlight. Like, well, I'll do it right now. You can see in the upper left-hand corner there. I'm going to enter, we're going to go KLGA to CERUP to KELM. Oh, I have two KELMs. I don't want that out of there. That's the problem. Make sure that doesn't screw anything up here. Yeah, that's right. I was like, why isn't that showing up? But it looks like it's right now. All right, cool. So yeah, 324. So then we're gonna go GOLFF, golf, and then back to LaGuardia. So now that this is in here, okay, you can look in the upper left-hand corner there, ForeFlight. If I ever want this flight again, okay, I hit flights, and then I scroll down here, and you can, it's not in here yet, but it will be once I fly it, okay. And I can, any flight that I've ever flown is in here, and I can scroll through and just use it, which is great. And I just basically select it and load it right into ForeFlight, so it's there already. Pretty cool. All right, so that's our plan. We'll put it into the GPS. You use Pilot to HTC with SkyVector. That's cool. How you doing, Sapper? Boeing engineer, how you doing? Mike and Dave, I know. Anyway, so that's going to be it for the planning, as I said, we've already got this all set up. Oh, we need our gas, so it's going to be 324 miles. Let's just do a calculation. Full load, which we're not going to be, is going to be, if I went 350, I'm going to need 77 gallons. I think I got 68, but there, I noticed that maybe it's just me, and maybe it just happened once, but maybe I think the 208 burns more gas than FSEconomy thinks or whatever. So I like to add a little bit more, right? So I'm just going to basically put 150 gallons in here. Gas is cheap, all right? And that way we know we're going to have enough. And we might have to, might fuel up again when we get to Elmira, but this way we're set to go, all right? So that's that for setting up. And this aircraft has a very limited bonus, which is good, and it's actually reasonably priced. I actually found one. I was going to do a flight in Orlando today with this 208, and I had one all scoped out. It was only $275 an hour, and someone nailed it. I forgot to like secure it, and somebody nailed it. So I was like, oh damn. Anyway, so what can you do? All right, so that's going to be our flight now. Let's get in the bird and get her up in the air, and then we can talk about other stuff. Let me get my Chrome window out of the way. You guys don't want to see that. All right, there's the livery. You guys can get this on X-Plane.org. Just search VR Aviation on X-Plane.org, and if you fly out 208, you can get yourself one of these. So, all right, let's check the plane out here. All right, everything looks good with the prop. Let's check the prop out. Getting a little bit of judder. I'm going to talk about my settings too. Ailerons are working. Elevator's working. Rudders are working. See, I got my little Bambino Games logo. Any livery I do, I put that little logo on there just as like a signature kind of thing. Grand Caravan logo. And we're all loaded up. You can fly this with and without the cargo bay. I think it looks cool with the cargo bay. Check the tail section here. Elevators are working fine. Ailerons working fine. Let's just check our flaps. Are not going to work because they're electrical. There's the rudder, so we're good to go. Tires look good. This is what's cool about VR. You can check out the plane like this. Couldn't do this with flying inside. That's a major difference. All right, we're good there. Let's get inside the bird. And hopefully we'll get rid of this judder once we get in the air, guys. Could be because I got air server running. That happens. So, all right, let's get this plane started up. All right, so we want the battery on. We want the fuel pump on. We want the ignition on. And we'll hit the starter.
Flight 209er, clear for Vector 324.
We have clearance, Clarence.
Roger, roger. What's our vector, Victor?
Gyro 47. Thanks for the follow, man. Appreciate it. Welcome to Bambino Games. Appreciate it. All right, now that we're going, we could turn the fuel pump to normal, start it off, get our avionics on. Now, for some reason, that ignition on light stays on, and I can't figure out why. Maybe if I set this back to normal, let's see if that goes off. Nope, it stays on. I don't know why that stays on. I can't figure out why. Maybe one of you guys knows, but I cannot figure out why. Anyway, generator is on, and we've got avionics. All right, let's go to flight plan. Go menu. Go delete flight plan. Enter. Okay. And let's get our other flight plans up here. We're going to scroll down to LGA. Where is it? LGA Elmira. Boom. Let's check out the flight plan. We want to get that first GPS. Now I should actually take out the I guess I should take out that first one because I always end up having to do this. So we're going to activate. Let's see. Menu. Activate. Boom. That's good. Get this over to map so we get that little mini map. GPS is on. What did we say we're going to fly? 4,000. Altitude 4,000. Altitude 4,000.
Altitude 4,000 feet. Now,
I haven't figured out because you cannot use the autopilot with the controller. Okay, you don't have any function over the autopilot. So I do it all with plane command, and what I basically do is hand fly it until I get to altitude, and just turn on the LNAV and turn on the altitude hold. That's what I do. All right, so everything's good there. I don't need. Well, I could turn this radar on, but I'm not flying with weather, so I'm not going to waste the frames. All right, and so I'm going to load up FSEconomy. You guys can't see this, but get that loaded up. All right. Now I also like to go through and show you my X-plane window. I like to go through and turn off any plugin that I'm not using. Auto pause, pilot edge. I'm not using this radar. I'm using plane command. I'm using this Python interface. I believe I'm using that as well. XJet, scroll wheel. I'm not sure. I got to check those out, but I leave those on. But I turn off pilot edge and I turn off the terrain radar. You notice I don't have fly with Lua in here anymore. We'll talk about that in a second. So I like to turn off any plugin that I'm not using. Hey Gyro, thanks man, I appreciate that. Yeah, once you give it some throttle, it goes. I'm not sure about that. I'm gonna check. I'm pretty sure it stays lit the whole time. Let's just see what happens. If I give it a little throttle, see, it stays on. I don't know why. I don't know why that stays on. I can't figure it out, but it's never caused a problem, so I'm not gonna worry about it. All right, so we've got our passengers loaded. We got our GPS in. We got GPS on. We're all set to go with navigation. Just got to get in the air and get to Elmira. And you guys can see everything that's happening, right? So let's hope for a judder-free flight. Ooh, that wasn't good. Oh, that's because, see, that's probably because that cart came into the picture there. All right, just close your eyes, guys, until, oh, wow, that's awful. Let's get out of here. Maybe we could, hopefully this will get better. Wow, it's pretty bad. That's really, really bad. I swear to God, this has never happened at LGA before. It could be because of air server. Let me just see something. Hold on. All right, now I just closed the X-plane 2D mirror window, and it's cleared right up. So that's one thing you got to remember to do. You got to close that window right up. All right, here we go. Hopefully this will be better here. That's better. You got to make sure you close that. Look at this truck. Come on, man. I'm an airplane. What are you kidding me, dude? Come on. All right. So you got to remember to close that window. There's the VR Aviation livery. 328 Golf Charlie. Check our flaps. Flaps looking good. All right. Get ourselves lined up with VR and centered with VR in my cockpit and stuff, so we're good there. And let's go. Yeah, so you got to remember to turn off that, minimize that 2D window. I have Oculus Mirror, which I use to what you guys are seeing. That's minimized. So there's that. All right, now it's pretty damn smooth. One last check. Flaps to 1 notch of flaps, and we're ready to go. Oh, there's one thing I got to do here. I always forget to do is I hit this N button just to make sure that the compasses are lined up, because sometimes I have a problem with that. All right, here we go. Hopefully it'll work. Carenado has some problems with the compass aligning. This plane pretty much takes off by itself. It's like a big 172, really. I was thinking about that today. It's a lot like flying a 172. It just moves a little beefier and, you know, just kind of gets to altitude a little slower. Actually, you know, I don't know what I'm saying. It's just a little larger. It's like a big 172. That's what it feels like to me. All right, so we're clean there. Let's get our flaps up, clean up the flaps. Ignition on, that light is still on, which is not what I want. You can see frames are pretty cool. Get a little stuttering here and there, but I'm cool with that. I'll lower the aircraft noise in a second here. Just want to make sure one thing. I want to make sure I have track up on the map so I'm not going the wrong way. Of course I can check my... Looks like we're good on 4 flight. Oops. It's a fun plane to fly, the 208. You know, I like it a lot better than the Kodiak, mainly because it doesn't feel like I'm flying a washing machine, and you know, just the judder on the Kodiak is just, I have not been able to find a sweet spot for that, unless I'm like major minimum graphic settings, which kind of makes it, you know, kind of boring. But in any event, I do like this plane. I'm happy. I feel like I got my money's worth with it. It does have a weird thing in VR, like every once in a while when you load it up, all the instrumentation is like, has this weird reflection on it, and you just have to like reload X-Plane and that goes away. But so that's a little bit of a VR glitch, and obviously it doesn't, you know, the touch controller, it's not completely compatible with touch controller. You can't operate the autopilot, which is a big issue. But if you have plane command, which for 20 bucks is well worth it, it's like a VR necessity. You're fine with you can control your autopilot. So, all right, we're going to come up to altitude here. I'll show you how I do this. Gotta remember to keep my head steady. My head's the camera. I have to remember to keep it steady. Start to level off here. LNAV on.
LNAV on.
Altitude hold.
Altitude hold on.
All right, we should pick up the GPS here hopefully now. Are we? What are we doing here? Are we screwed up or no? No. That's not what I wanted to happen. That's not what I wanted to happen. What's going on? This has happened to me before. All right, let me get this window open. As soon as I open that window, I had to open the window to hit that N button to link up the compasses, but as soon as I open that window, you're in the wash machine. Now the GPS should be, yeah, so you've got, what is it called? Hold on, I'll tell you in a second. This happens on the 1900D sometimes too. Oops. Give me a second here, I'll explain it. I'll tell you what it's called. Enable vacuum DG sync to magnetic north. Okay? Enable vacuum DG sync to magnetic north. I have that mapped to the N key. For north, so I can remember it. An X-plane is an X-plane command, and once you do that, the compasses sync up. What? No, I'm locked to the GPS. See, I got it on GPS, and we're coming back here now. Be fine. But I'm going to back off the prop a little bit. And we'll back off the throttle a little bit so we're not chewing up too much fuel. Doing 160 knots. Yeah, you can see here, I'll pull in here to the GPS. You can see there, we're heading right back to our GPS route, that magenta route. Once we get to that route, we'll make a turn probably. Well, not probably, definitely. All right. Yeah, why is that ignition light on? Don't know. The other thing is, if you wanted to start this plane with engines already running, it's very difficult. I have not figured out how to do that. It just stalls out. Don't know why. And the other thing is the throttle sometimes doesn't. The throttle in the plane doesn't map well to, doesn't show visually that it's moving, even though it is moving. So there's a couple of little glitches here and there. All right, we should make a turn to the north here a little bit. Get us back on the GPS, and here it comes, hopefully. Don't make a liar out of me. Don't make a liar out of me. Yeah, it's gonna do it. Come on, it's gonna do it. I have faith in technology. Yeah, I can see the line here. You can see that green line coming down, and once it's more in line with those arrows, there we go. There's our turn, and we're gonna come right into the GPS. There we go. So you got to do that vacuum, whatever it's called, gauge vacuum, digital. I forget. I read it to you guys. That's the command you got to set up for, at least for me, for this plane in the B1900D. I usually, as you know, when I start up, I hit that. I thought I did. I guess I didn't. But now we're good to go. Now we're good to go. And we've got we got about an hour to our destination, so let's see what's happening here. We'll get outside here. Lower this volume a little bit. Actually, let me do X. So here goes sound, and just let's go turn the master down. Why didn't that work? That's weird. Aircraft exterior. There we go. All right, cool. So, let's see what you guys have to say here. No, I didn't update the flight plan yet. I'm good on the flight plan. Good on the flight plan. You have to turn on the battery first and then do a start engine from the menu. Another trick, you can grab the volume knob on the 530 and move up. It will decrease the engine noise. Oh. Really? Let me try that. That's cool. Volume knob on the 530. On the 430. Oh, wow. Except it doesn't work too well with a... Ooh. That's interesting. All right, cool. Let me get this guy so you guys can see it. Beautiful. All right, cool. Let me see. It's upside down. Gotcha. Yeah, we have to move you had to move the controller up and down like that to do it. So anyway, so let me give you an update on what's going on with the group, guys. So let me get to my... All right, so we have, let me do a fresh refresher. We have $960,000. Pretty damn good. That's pretty damn good. I mean, it's amazing, actually. Like I said, about 40 members, like almost $1 million in assets. Check out our log here. So we've got, you know, Erasmus has been flying his butt off. N73DX. That's Control Jeff. Control of Jeff Shirk. Crush a Diesel. A Distal. Let's see. This is a new member. Gizari also donated a nice chunk of money too. Like $50,000. Very nice of him. M9 Air has been flying. Brian Holm, Blazing Monk. Let's see who else we got here. Goldbeard, RM Iraq 451. P. Vander J. Shirk 78, and I'm sure many others, but you could see that N73 DX and Erasmus have been flying their asses off. JML 79, Quasme, you guys have all been doing a great job, and I'm sure everybody that's in the group appreciates the membership. I mean the contributions. Let me just go to the monthly statement here and show you. So we've got almost $2.2 million in gross assignment income. After expenses, pilot fees were about almost $1 million, $900,000. So after expenses, our net is 782,000. So this is what the end of the month bonus is going to be paid on. 20% of that is going to go to the top pilot, the guy who has the most assignment income. And might take me a day or two to figure that out, but that'll be a nice virtual check for somebody. Now next month in February, I think what I'm going to do is mix it up a little bit, and we're going to have 3 winners. We'll have 10% to the top prize, 5% to the second prize, and 3% to third place. So this way, you'll have a better. Everyone will have a chance of getting into the action. All right. Your VR Aviators page is wonderful. Great information there. Excellent group. Oh, that's good, man. Bug Eater, I appreciate that. Yeah, there's some really, really great people there. I should bring that up here and show you that. Now, we did move the group to a new group because of those issues that I had before, so whatever. We won't need to talk about that. But anyway, just search VR Aviators on Facebook and you'll find it. And some really good information. If you need some help figuring stuff out, there's some good people that'll help you out there. I also have on Reddit, we've got the VR Aviators Reddit group, which is coming together. We've got 185 people there right now, which is pretty good. Lots of good information being shared there too, so you want to check that out. And also, there's the VR Aviators Discord. Just search VR Aviator on Discord, and then you've got my Discord, Bambino Games Discord as well. All right, so that's a lot of areas where if you're into the VR aviation thing, a lot of like-minded people in those spots that love to talk about that stuff. So make sure you check that out. All right. All right, so FSEconomy doing really strong here. We've had group payments of like 184,000. So that's donations basically coming for people, and maybe people that have missed flights and decided that they want to, pony up. You guys don't have to do that. If you miss a flight, it's no big deal. Don't worry about it. But it is very nice of all the guys to do that. And yeah, so we're growing strong here, and we've got some decisions coming up to start to invest some of this money that we're going to have into building up the group. Albeit planes or maybe FBOs. We've been talking about maybe the Mercer Trenton FBO, starting a hub on the east, or maybe buying a plane somewhere, 208 somewhere. So we'll come to a decision on that. Make sure you check out on the Bambino Games Discord. I'll type the link here. Maybe someone can. There you go. That link right there. Join up the Discord, and there's a channel in there specifically talking about the FSE group. So make sure you check that out if you're into that. But you guys, I mean, it's awesome. We're doing a great job. And the good thing about the Discord group is we talk about some ideas of what the group wants to do. So you want to make sure you check that out. All right. So that's the update on the group, and we're growing strong. Looks pretty cool. So next I wanted to talk about the Andy, how you doing? Thanks for joining. Appreciate it. I wanted to talk about the big event last night, which was the live stream. The Laminar Research live stream, and interesting stuff there. One second here, guys. A lot of good information. Talked about VR. Talked about VR2, the second release of the preview beta. I guess they're still calling it a preview beta, which we're expecting. They didn't really give a time frame on it, but they said soon, maybe next week. We shall see. There's not going to be any optimization in that release. What they're trying to do is fix bugs, and also they're going to give us mouse, and they're going to give us probably this laser thing with the Oculus Touch. So we'll have more ways to interact with the instrument panel, which will be great, because that means hopefully that brings all these third-party planes into the fold, and you'll be able to operate them. So like with this plane in particular, if you've got mouse support, you can use their mouse to operate the autopilot, hopefully, right? So so that should be a good thing, and I think we're all looking forward to that. Now, one of the things that Chris Serio said last night was, and Ben, they were talking about asynchronous asynchronous warp. Is it called asynchronous space warp? Which is the Oculus algorithm that allows your Oculus Rift to insert frames for applications that aren't producing frames at 90 frames per second. And generally, ASW wants at least 45 frames per second. And apparently, if it's not 45 frames per second, or this magic number of 22.25, sorry, 22.5, which is half of 45, ASW freaks out, you get the washing machine judder effect. So they know about the problem. I think they're trying to work on the problem. They're trying to give us they're talking about giving us the option of turning ASW off or having it on depending on your situation. I'm not sure that's really a good, I'm not sure that's really a long-term fix to the issue. I think it's more, you need to optimize X-Plane 11 to work properly with an Oculus Rift. But the good news is that they're aware of this, and you know, I'm sure all in good faith, they're, you know, those guys are going to try to, you know, make it work properly. Apparently, Vive, there's no issues at all, and it makes sense because, you know, X-Plane 11 VR is on the Steam VR platform, which is all basically intricately related to the HTC Vive. Oculus Rift is pretty much a foreign body when it comes to Steam VR, and has to have all the you know, connections and etc. for it to work properly. And you know, for the last couple of weeks, you know, since Christmas, almost a month now, well, actually a month now, we've been, you know, us VR aviators, we've been batting back and forth different configurations and different ideas, and Rift Flyer has been, you know, great and instrumental in coming up with stuff, and other folks as well in the VR Aviation Facebook page and other places, and everybody. And you know, there's been a lot of opinions and a lot of things that have worked on different systems. And I think the thing to remember is that, I think it was M9 that said it today, everyone's going to have different systems, and not everything is going to, or maybe Mike said it, everyone's going to have different systems, and what works for someone might not work for someone else. And that's the truth. You know, it's, you know, if you've got a i5 dual core and a 1060, your situation is very different from someone with an i7 8700K and a 1080 Ti. So your configs are going to be different, and you got to kind of remember that when we guide people. And the first, you know, I actually put a rule in the VR Aviators group on Facebook that when you post a problem, you know, make sure you put your PC config, because really, that really affects the answer. And you know, like there was a debate today about should you have ASW off, and because last night Chris said, you know, he did say that you just could think about turning it off, and then he clarified it in a comment, basically saying what he meant was that, you know, if you're at 45, you know, if you're below 40, if you're below 45 frames per second, I think is what he said. Okay. But in any event, I think what Ben mentioned in his response, and I put it on, I snipped that out, and I wanted to snip that piece out and put it on my YouTube channel because it was important to people that fly in VR. What Ben said is that they are looking at the issue, and what they want to try to do is to have like some performance recommendations, and which they would post on the developers blog. So you know, I think they're keenly aware. They're keenly aware of the issues and stuff. So the key is 45 SPS. Nothing less. Nothing less will do. Unfortunately, I'm not sure I agree with that, Rift Flyer, because when you run 22.5, it works fine. And I've actually, you know, I think you're right. 45 is the magic number, and I actually sent an email to Chris and asked him about the 22.5, and he said, you know, yeah, it could be, because, you know, he goes, I'm not surprised that he said that he wasn't surprised that it was functioning at that frame rate, because it's, you know, it's half of 45, and maybe ASW has some algorithms that work properly when you're in those divisions. Who knows? So, in any event, I think there's a lot of unknowns, and you know, the good news is there's some parameters that we can offer people that they can use to tweak their system based upon what their system is to get it working properly. So that's the good thing. Now, I will tell you that for the last week, I have not been running Fly with Lua. And ever since I turned Fly with Lua off or removed it, I've had much better results with every plane in every area. So that's unfortunate, because XP Realistic Pro needs Fly with Lua to run, and I think I either thought about it, or I may have sent an email to the developer just to ask him about that, if there's any plans for it to run on its own, because I really do like having the sounds of XP Realistic Pro. Now, I do have an action item. I'm going to test it turning head movement off to see if that has effect, but the problem is you still have to run Fly with Lua, and I just think that Fly with Lua is doing something funky to VR. So on my system, it doesn't run. Now, other people may have had better results with that and that 3J FPS script, and that's fine. But for me, as soon as I turned Fly with Lua off, everything started running much better. So that's basically the update on the live stream. And there's some other. They talked about Vulkan. They're actively working on Vulkan. Ben said that they want to get it done by you know, sometime this year. It's a lot of work, you know, as you can imagine. He said what they're trying to do is they're trying to get everything above the platform so they can easily put the platform under. You know, they can put the if you think of it as stacks, they could bring in the they can replace the OpenGL. He said actually there's still going to be some OpenGL stuff, but they can start to utilize the Vulkan platform. And there's a lot of work to lift the code up so that they can put Vulkan underneath it. And that's kind of how he described it. But it's worth it to take a look. Go on their YouTube channel, Explain Official, I think it's called, and the whole live stream is there, and you can watch it. It's worth taking a look. They talked a little bit about mobile too. Trying to think of some of the other stuff. ATC. Right now, VR is the priority. So once they get VR stable, then they're going to move to other stuff like, you know, ATC and some of the other stuff. They really didn't talk about the G1000 at all, because I think there's some improvements that need to happen there. Like one thing I noticed with the G1000 is that the granularity of when you turn the dial in the flight planner is really how do I put this, is really small. So like a small little movement of your hand, like a small move, it moves it like too much. It moves like when you're trying to enter in a letter, it moves it like you just move your hand a little bit and it goes like 5 letters. You know what I'm saying? So I think they need to back off the granularity so that it moves a little slower as you turn your hand. That's one thing I thought of, and I wanted to ask that question, but I think I'm just going to fill out like a bug report on that. But I don't know if you guys noticed that on the G1000, but to me, that's something, that granularity of the dials, you know, has to be dialed back a little bit just to make it, I think, easier to handle with a touch controller. It's probably fine with a mouse, but with a touch controller, it's a little bit kind of dicey. But in any event, that's kind of the nutshell of what they talked about. There was a lot of questions about VR. I was actually happy to see that a lot of people in chat were focused on VR, which is really cool for the VR aviation community. You know, I think more and more people are getting into it. So, all right. So, in any event, talked about that. Talked about my X-Plane VR configuration, fly with Lua, and I have ASW on auto. I'm leaving it on auto, and we'll see how that goes for a little while. But so far, so good. All right, let's I'm surprised you guys are so quiet about the X-Plane live stream. You guys have no comments about the X-Plane live stream? Nothing? I'm surprised, man. All right, well, if you think of anything, we could talk more about that. Let's talk about, I'm going to talk about my PC configuration or upgrade. Oh, you haven't had a chance to watch it. Okay, well, make sure you check it out. I think it's good info for sure. All right, so I'm planning on upgrading my PC. I talked about this before, and I'm going to go with an i7 8700 Coffee Lake 6-core 3.7 gig, and I'm going with the 8700K because Mike C mentioned to me that even when it's not overclocked, it performs faster than the 8700, and I want the ability to overclock it at some point. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to go with the ASRock Fatality K6, this board here. Pretty good reviews. Apparently it's good for overclocking. What I like about it is it's got a lot of, it's got five USB 3.0 ports, which is something I really need for VR and stuff. So that's good. And I don't know why it's got 2 Ethernet ports. That's fine. But it's got different display options. I wish it had a display port. It's got the DVI. It's got the, never use this. DVI and the HDMI. It's got a SPDIF, and I do music recording stuff, so that's kind of cool to have a SPDIF there. And the new Type-C connector. So, yeah, I'm not sure, but you know, Quasmi saying if I plan to overclock, the EVGA has better power delivery. I read some things online that EVGA. Let's bring up that board here. The EVGA Z36. It's this one. This is the other one I was thinking about. Where is it? This guy here. For the win. Okay, I was thinking about this guy, and I like this one because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like 10 USB ports. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I mean, I was looking at this board, but there's not a whole lot of, and I was thinking about this board, but there's not a whole lot of reviews on it. Like I said, I'm between these two. I'm between this board and the ASRock. I like EVGA products. I have an EVGA power supply in my PC. I've got an EVGA. My 1080 Ti is an EVGA SC2. I've always used EVGA graphics cards. Their support is really good. Yeah, I mean, I do like this one because it's got, you know, it's got the more USB ports, and I kind of like the other one because it's got a better. Yeah, I don't know. It's either one or the other. I'm gonna go with either one or the other, and I mean, I kind of like the look of this board, to tell you the truth, more than the other one. But I mean, the thing is, once you put it in there, you're not gonna see it anyway. It's more about the performance, and so I may go with this. I'll still look. I don't know. I'm up in the air, you know, but I'm down to 2, which is good, right? It's not like I'm down to 3 or 5, right? I'm down to 2. So in fact, I'm gonna put this one in my cart so I can make that decision. So in any event, and I'm going to get this Liquid Master 240 all-in-one liquid cooler. Pretty good reviews. A lot of people use it. It's not the best it's not the quietest cooler, But I read actually you can replace the fans with Be Quiet fans, and it's really, really quiet, which I may do down the road if it's too loud. But easy to install, will get the job done. Now there's a Pro version of this that I can't find. The Pro 240, but they only have the Pro 280, which is $229. I don't feel like spending $229 on a cooler, although kind of get what you pay for, I guess, with a cooler. But in any event, this is probably the cooler I'm going to go with, and then so that'll be it. So if I so it's going to be about $600, somewhere around there. And what I'll get is I'll have about 40% increase in CPU, even before overclocking, because I'm at a 6700 right now. So that'll help streaming. Have the ability to overclock. Have more USB ports. Either one of them will give you more USB ports. And yeah, so that's the plan. Probably maybe next week I'm going to pull the trigger on this and do the upgrade. So that's the plan for the upgrade. Looking forward to that. I think it was actually Mike, Boeing engineer, who recommended the ASRock board. So again, I'm kind of up in the air. I was actually thinking about getting a new case too, but I've got a Fractal Design Define R5, which is a pretty beefy case. I was thinking about getting like a windowed case, because mine's not windowed, but I'm like, I'm not going to spend $100 on a case. This case is fine. So the goal is get these things, drop them in, hook everything up, and we'll be cooking with more power, and hopefully that'll mean more confirm the USB controllers or ports are good with Oculus sensors. Oh, that's a good point. Well, that's a good point. Where do I confirm that other than Google it? Let's see. Let me see here. So this is going to be the... You know for sure the EVGAs are? Do you have that for the Windboard, Crosby? Look for what chipset the USBs are, okay. So look for the chipset of the USBs and confirm that they're compatible. Alright, well. I guess if I go back to here, so if I do... Yeah, I'm glad I'm like dangerous when it comes to computer. I can build a computer, but... All right, I'll have to look that up. One more thing to check. Damn it. All right. That's a good point. Would that be on... Let's just see here. As media, and those are the as media USB chips. The as Intel probably is compatible, I would imagine. USB. Intel Z, let's see. Where the hell am I going to find that? I guess in the manual? Doesn't have it on the specs here. It just says, I mean, it says it's Intel Z-Set 370 chipset. That's for, doesn't talk about. Yeah, I'm looking at the manufacturer's site now. Intel, Intel, Intel. Alright, so this is all Intel. Intel 2.0s, Intel 3.0s, Intel 3.1s. So I gotta believe the Intel chipset is compatible with Oculus. Right? So that's good. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with the EVGA. Let's see what that's going to cost me. So I have to get, this is a combo. Do that. Let me go with, you try telling me. Now, if this screws up, dude, I'm coming after you, you know. Coming after you. All right, let's see what's going to cost me. Bring my 8700K. Yeah. All right, so with that cooler, it's going to cost me $662. No deals. See if there's any deals. I don't think there's any deals, but still, when you think about it, I can sell my old CPU. Yeah, I'm doing some shopping, Brendan. I could sell my old CPU and for about $200, and I can sell my old motherboard for like about $120, so I get $220 back. Sorry, $320 back. So really, it's costing me $340, which isn't, you know. And I'm getting a liquid-cooled system that's I could overclock, and yeah, I know this is the rationalization, dude. This is called rationalization. This is how I explain it to my wife. Well, actually, she doesn't. This comes out of my I have like my slush fund that this comes out of. But, you know, at least I can sell some stuff to make up for some of it, which is good. But it is, I think it's totally worth it because I'm gaining, I think X-Plane's going to run faster, hopefully, because you got a better CPU. And it's going to help me out with streaming because I use one PC to do both. And those are really the only two justifications that I have. But anyway, that's the plan. It is a cool looking motherboard though. Huh? Just that other motherboard, there's a really good review on YouTube about it. The guy went all over it. Yeah, it is nice and shiny. Look at all those freaking USB ports, man. Now it doesn't have a DVI. It doesn't have. That's the one difference here. I don't have a DVI. Well, I'm not using DVI anyway. I use DisplayPort and HDMI. So it doesn't have a DisplayPort, which kind of sucks. I'm not sure about the audio on this thing, but I use USB audio anyway, so I'm not too worried about that. And what I do like about it is, let's see if I can set the 360. This guy here. What I like about this, it's going to come up here. Now that image is broken. You can't, if you can see this here, I like the USB 3 connector is laying down. It's horizontal instead of vertical. On my current board it's vertical, so it's kind of hard to connect to it. So that's nice. One nice thing about it. But in any event, I'm pretty sure this is what I'm going to go with. I will say that EVGA boards are rock solid. Yeah, I mean, they make great products, and they're... I had a problem when I bought a 1080, which I returned because the fan wasn't working, and they shipped me out one before I even shipped the other one back. So I was like, you know, pretty happy with that. They did a nice job with that. Anyway, so that looks like it's going to be the jam. Supporting EVGA. I think this has 3 M.2 slots too, which is nice, and it's set up for SLI, which is good. I'm probably never going to do that, but in case I want it, it's there. So, all right, I guess that's enough rationalization. That's what I'm going to go with. Cool. It's always fun to buy PC stuff. Let's see how we're doing here. Ooh, another $4,000. Check the log out. Very nice. Control Alt Jeff is flying his Beechcraft, or was flying his Beechcraft. Let's see if my airplane's in the air. Nope. And let's check out the aircrafts for the group. We have the VR Aviation. We've got the King Air, donated or leased from Air Dogs, JML 79. Nice of them to do that. Which you can get at this Canadian airport. CYYD, and we got 2 208s you can lease for, you can rent for free. This guy is at PANC in Alaska. I was actually going to fly him down back to his home at some point, bring him back there, see if I can pick up a flight and get him back there. And you've got my Cirrus, which is at Trenton. We do have I have a couple airport planes at Trenton. I bought the 1900B there, which really shouldn't even be there, but I had one flight with a bunch of passengers that I brought there. It was from Boston. And we got a Skyhawk there, we got the Cirrus, and we got a Seminole. I had a Baron here too, which got flown away by somebody. But yeah, so we could talk about that. The plan, I'm thinking about buying the FBO here at Trenton Mercer. The guy the group who owns it, I got in contact with them and they're willing to hear an offer on it. It's got a bunch of supplies and Ryzen 2 out soon. Yeah, I'm going to stick with Intel chips. In any event, so yeah, so we're toying with the idea, and we were talking about this on the Discord chat a little bit today about buying the FBO here at Trenton and starting this as the hub for the East Coast. Now, the East Coast is kind of bought up, right, which most places are in the U.S. And this is only a 2-lot airport. But the idea is get this one and then start buying small airports around it, or FBOs at small airports around it, and try to build up the assignments so that we can have a couple of planes here and fly assignments from Trenton into the in the great Northeast of the United States. So that's one thing we're thinking about doing. So then once we merge with RML, we'll have the one at KBTN, where there's already Mike and David already have a network already set up there, where there's some jobs that can be flown and stuff. So we'll have a kind of, I guess it's not that's Northwest, and we'll have an East Coast, and then we can start, once we get that built up, we can start building up in the UK. So we could have UK, East Coast, and Northwest, and then maybe the fourth one down the line would be somewhere like in the Pilot Edge area, in the ZLA area, Pilot Edge. So for people that like to fly FSEconomy and Pilot Edge, we'll have some stuff there. But yeah, UK is definitely next after the East Coast. I'd like to do the East Coast first, so we can fly LaGuardia, Boston, and Trenton, Mercer, BWI, Philadelphia, those areas. Kind of cool to fly those, and then we'll start, working our way. We'll start with Europe. We'll find a hub in Europe. So we're just starting out. We're a baby group right now. Less than just our first million, but I think if we play our cards right and have fun with it, then we can build it up to be a nice conglomerate. We've got good news is we got some people that are, a couple people in the group that are pretty dedicated to getting those flights in and like the game. Like, I love the game. I just haven't had a lot of time to fly this week. I've flown a couple on my own, I gotta admit, but I'm going to start flying more for the group and start to build up that cash. Anyway, so yeah, it is a lot of fun, and it kind of brings people together, and you meet new people, and et cetera, et cetera. So Trenton is an area that we're looking. Now we already have 4 gates here at the Trenton, which we bought. That cost us I think $1,000 a month per gate. Job at your FBO. Oh, you have an FBO at 22N? Okay. This is you here. Any gateway services? Do you own that? Because if that's the case, I'm gonna, if this is yours, Jeff, I'm gonna point. I don't have our gates pointed to you, but I'm gonna point them to you. If this is your FBO. All right. So I'm gonna do it right now. So let me go 22N. So we'll go to FBO facilities, VR Aviation, edit, and I'm going to add this to the list here. All right, so we can point that there. You see the ones I have here: Atlantic City, LaGuardia, BWI, ABP, which is Scranton, and the HTO. I think I'm going to take HTO off. We'll keep it with these 5. So hopefully that'll generate some assignments, some more assignments, right? So yeah. Yeah, so but we don't have any small planes here. Anyway, we'll see how that works out. Doesn't hurt to generate some assignments. I'm still learning this, guys, like I'm sure a lot of you guys are, about how this all works and how the, for me, it was a big mystery how the system generates assignments, but now I'm kind of starting to grasp it, thanks to the help of Mike and some other folks. Kind of starting to grasp it, so. All right, cool. Where are we with our flight? We are 24 miles out from our turn into Elmira. Yeah, it's a good mid-hop to the AVP, right. I'd like to establish something at Scranton, too. I was thinking that down the road, that was the one I was thinking in my mind could be one that we could purchase. All right, let me get this out of here. Let me get inside the plane, see what's going on inside the plane. Good news is we don't have a judder. Maybe a little bit. Try something here. All right. Now this is what I hope when I get that 8700K. I'm hoping that all this goes away, all the judder goes away, because you got so much more processing power. That the frame rates in X-Plane 11, because it's so CPU centric, the frame rates will get an increase. I'm not saying they're going to get a 50% increase, but if they get a 30% increase, it's probably pretty good. So maybe they'll get me up closer to 45, which will make things better. So in any event, that's the whole idea of behind getting the 8700, plus other reasons. I just want to update my computer to the more modern stuff. It's about 18 months old now, so, and it's time to do it. So I missed the whole 270 chipset, so I'm on a 170 right now, which is at the time was top end, but not anymore. All right, Brendan, you're gonna. Oh, I have an i7 6700 now, Brendan. I have a 6700, which isn't a bad CPU, but you know, it's a 40% gain in the 8700. Okay, and that's without overclocking. If I can overclock it just to like a little bit, I'm not gonna go to 5 or anything, but if I can go to like 4.2 or somewhere around there, 4.3, then that would be even better. But I want to see what it's like without overclocking at first, and then that may be sufficient. We shall see. But this way, it's always there in case I need it. It's always better to have big computing power. Let's check out. I want to. You mentioned AVP. I just want to take a look at Scranton. I've been meaning to do this now that I'm thinking about it. We have a few minutes here. Scranton's got a lot of jobs. Wow. Scranton jobs, let's see. You got one small one to Trenton. That's mine. Baseball Scouts. I always put these little emojis there. Good night, Brendan. Thanks for stopping by, man. Appreciate it. Pottstown, Vermont, Springfield, Vermont, New Hampshire, all goes to New England, Maine. So it's all pointing towards, so it's probably owned by someone, let's see, Beach Air 88, okay. Maryland, Connecticut, Somerset County, PA, New York, Grumman, Bethpage. Yeah, so it's probably all pointing to New England. So that probably wouldn't be a good hub for us. What to think about that one? So many decisions, so many decisions. Now I always forget at the end of my streams when I land to go over the jobs to see how much money we made. No, I always forget to do that, so I'm gonna not forget to do that tonight. All right, Rift Flyer, thanks for hanging out, man. Good chatting with you today in the Aviators group, and appreciate all your support. Everyone does. Knowledgeable guy there. Thank you about the Rift and stuff. Thanks. Have a good evening and a good sleep. We're here probably for another hour or so. All right. It's amazing the difference. Now watch. Here we go. I'm gonna. Let me move this back here. Now, I'm gonna open up the X-plane window. As soon as I do, look at the judder. Now I'm gonna close it. Goes right back. That thing takes up a lot of cycles. Sure. Takes up a lot of cycles. But listen, man, X-Plane VR is still young. It's only a month old, and as far as being out to the general public. So I think we have to like kind of tamper our expectations a little bit, you know. I saw a comment on one of my YouTube videos, or actually the one I put up last night with the excerpt from the talk. Person saying that they're going to wait 2 years until X-Plane 11 VR stabilizes, and you know, there's probably a little bit of truth to that, because by that time, you know, Vulcan will probably be in the product, and we're going through a scenery change here, it looks like. Vulcan will probably be in the product, and they'll have things optimized better and stuff. So yeah, I mean, that's, you know, I would say probably like this time next year. Oh, pardon me. This time next year, we're probably looking at like an amazing VR experience, you know. And you know, some others are going to catch up, like Aerofly, which is an amazing VR experience, might catch up on the nav and map side and comp side and become more of a real simulator. And then you've got, you know, Daniel Church and Fly Inside, and those guys are working on their own simulator, which is going to come out of the gate probably optimized for VR. So it's going to be interesting. And what's cool about it is that, you know, I got to tell you, I remember about a year ago when I started doing these VR videos for, you know, Fly Inside and FSX. Really started with Aerofly. I think that was the first VR aviation video I did, Aerofly. So that's when I kind of got turned on to it. And everyone was like, oh, it's terrible. How could you do that? You can't see anything. You know, all the doubting Thomases, you know. And it's funny now how many people, or I should say interesting, not funny, how many people now have kind of converted it to the point where they say, you know, it's hard to think about even flying in something other than VR, you know. But anyway, so it's kind of cool. All right, there's our airport. We got to get down in a hurry here. Oof. All right, let's get that autopilot off. I can see the runway nice and easily. I think I've actually been here before. Yeah, I know this isn't textbook. I'm descending very quickly here. I'm killing everybody's ears in the cabin. But we're kind of doing a emergency descent. Let's back things off here a little bit. Slow the plane down. Get the nose up. Slow the plane down. Looks pretty, nice and smooth. That's what we want. Trim up a little bit. Get our first notch of flaps in there. Now, when I land this plane, I got my hand on the throttle and the prop at the same time. That's what I found works best for me. The prop is a little bit forward from the throttle, about maybe 1/8 of a notch, whatever. But I kind of worked them both in concert, as you can see right there. See right there, like that. Second notch of flaps, or flops, as Cirrus Max calls them. He's got a great stream, Cirrus Max. Make sure you check him out. Real world pilot that flies SR-22s. So he has a Cessna. He has a Cirrus SR-22, my dream plane. And he flies it. I think he's in the New York metropolitan area. But on stream, he flies the Big Iron mainly. All right. Looks like we got good descent angle, and straighten things out a little bit here. This is one of those airports with sparse buildings, so you don't get a lot of you don't have a lot of autogen issues, and there's not many trees around here for some reason. I mean, you land this plane at 70 knots. Maybe you're supposed to land it a little faster than that, but I landed at like 70 knots, somewhere around there. All right. Now, the one thing I don't like about this is you don't get just a smooth landing like that. You don't get any bump. And, you know, I'm used to, when I had X-Plane, I keep calling it X-Plane. When I have XP Realistic Pro running, get my flaps up. Used to getting those tires screech, and I don't have that. And the brakes, you hear the shocks, springs and stuff, and unfortunately I don't have that anymore because I can't fly with Lua. Hopefully that'll change, but for now, I'm without fly with Lua. All right, we're just going to get to the end of the runway here and just do just turn it around. Now, the nice thing about the new update for FSEconomy is it ends the flight when you put the parking brake on, which is great. Used to be you had to shut the plane down. I guess I could go that way. Yeah, why not? All right. Set parking brake.
Parking brakes set.
All right. Let's get to... let's see. Boom. Let's go to... I gotta pull this up now. So let's go to FSEconomy. And we'll end our flight. Now let's get the Chrome window in here, and we can see how we did. All right, where's our log? All right, so $6,800, $6,900. We had about $1,000 in cost, so total earnings. So we split it basically 50-50 with the group. Pilots get 40% of this number right here, right? So you're going to get this number right there. Ooh, that number, blue one there. Pilots get 40% off the top of the income. And then after that, whatever's left goes to the group after expenses. So anyway, so that was a pretty good flight for the group, and we'll see what we can do on the next one. So my flight here, let's see how much gas we got. We got 85 gallons. That should be enough, but I'm just going to top it off just in case to be safe. All right, so we're good there. We only have 8 passengers going back. Let me get my Chrome window off here. I'm going to hit start flight. And boom, we started flight. So we're good there. And get rid of this window here. So let's get this baby in the air and get back to LaGuardia. Alright, everything good to go. We'll set the, let's do flight director off.
Flight director already off.
I just like to do that to reset. Let's get our prop all the way up. Release the brakes. Plane comes off the ground so easily. Boom, look at that, just like floats right up. I wonder if that's realistic. I have to watch one of Steve-O Knievo's videos to see if that's really realistic or not. Nice and smooth here. I think we'll be okay at 3,500. I'm going to go to 3,500. Smoothness for sure. Now, the thing about flying in the Northeast, I mean, you need to have autogen on, at least low, so you have the airport structures and stuff. But for the most part, you can leave it pretty low, because if you're using ortho like I am, you get, it looks beautiful. I mean, it looks very realistic. So you don't need all those trees. In fact, there is a way, I think, to turn the trees off, which if I'm going to investigate doing, that might help things out a little bit. Or, sorry, there's a way to turn the roads off, to remove the roads. Just something I want to look into doing. And that ignition light is still on. I got to figure that out. All right, LNAV on.
LNAV on.
Altitude hold.
Speed hold on.
Nope. Altitude hold.
Altitude hold on.
Speed hold off.
Speed hold is already off.
Good. Let's just back off the prop a little bit. Back off the throttle a little bit. And we're good to go here. Here's the hovering X-Pad. Now, last night they did. Chris did mention something about bringing in a browser, a web browser, into the X-Pad. That would be really cool if they did that, because selfishly for me, I could then use the X-Pad for Twitch chat. You could use it for, you know, ForeFlight website. You know, you could use it for anything on the web, right? So it'd be kind of cool to have a web browser on there. Hopefully they do that. They didn't really talk about external windows. What they said for external windows is that they're going to rely on the VR system to do that. So, like, or they're leaning that way, I should say. So, like, for example, Oculus Home 2.0 has an external window capability, which I know some people on the VR Aviators group have messed around with it and gotten to work. So I'm not sure what kind of a frame rate hit that's going to have, but that's kind of the way they were leaning for external windows. So for ForeFlight in the cabin, that's probably what you're looking at. No, I didn't over-torque the engine, dude. I didn't over-torque the engine. I don't think I did. No, I know. I'm pretty sure I didn't. But anyway, I'll go back and look at the video, make sure I didn't. I'm usually pretty cognizant of that because I've done that before. I was? Yeah, Robo. It's called... Hold on, I'll tell you what it's called. Hold on. OVR Drop. OVR Drop. You can get it on Steam. It's really cheap. It's like $6 or $7, something like that. OVR Drop. I haven't. It's very complicated. I tried playing with it, and it's really, to me, it was very complicated. So, Bago, you say I was over 200? All right, I'll have to check that out. I didn't think I was, but, sorry, 2,000. I'll check that out. Let me look here. All right, I'll have to check that out. Just trying to think of which... You know, I'm still new to the plane, but yeah, I'll check that out, and I'll make sure that that doesn't happen again. I don't want to overcook the engine. So yeah, it would be cool to have a web browser in there, wouldn't it? But yeah, OVR drop, did I say? OVR, hold on. Yeah, OVR drop, it's called. Get it on Steam. I think it's really cheap. You can check that out on Steam. But like I said, it seemed to be pretty complicated to use, and I bought it because I wanted to try it, and I just haven't had time to fiddle with it. And I'm trying to remember, I think I tried to bring in the Twitch chat, and I wasn't able to do it. It caused like frame rate issues or whatever. Anyway. You use a dash. See, the dash is the way to go then. You know, Oculus Home 2.0 is the way to go. When that's... I don't have the beta. I probably should get the beta. I just didn't want to mix it in with X-Plane 11 VR. And... because I have to keep... You know, I don't want to get my system too out of whack. And I've got to be able to stream and stuff. So I haven't really played with that. But that's something I'll probably look at doing. I mean, if it's in... Now, I don't know if the Rift has... I'm sorry, if the Vive has that built in into their environment, but hopefully they do. I'll tell you, though, you know, this brings up a thought, and I've been thinking about this kind of today. You know, I really do like Oculus Rift. I think their support's great. I had a problem with my first one. I shipped it back, and they shipped me a new one within like 3 days, and no questions asked, and they were really good. I've heard that HTC support isn't fantastic, but in any event, thinking about, you know, watching the VR Aviators group on Facebook, all of the configuration issues and discussion are all about Oculus Rift. You very rarely see someone complain about the HTC Vive and X-Plane. Very rarely see anybody complain about juddering or issues like that. And actually, they talked about it on the live stream, saying that Vive handles frames below 45 frames per second very well. So, in the back of my mind, I'm saying to myself, You got the Vive Pro coming out. It's got, they're saying a 78% pixel density increase. And it's, you know, X-Plane. The main thing that I use in VR is X-Plane. So it might be worth switching platforms, you know. If X-Plane's primarily, you know, development platform is going to be Vive now, because when they did the original, when Chris Serio did the original demo, he was using a Vive. You know, now I don't like the Vive controllers. I think the touch controllers are much better, but they are working on those knuckle controllers, so that could improve things. So I'm almost like I got in the back of my mind about switching VR systems at some point. Like I said, because the primary thing that I use in VR is X-Plane 11, and if I'm looking at this and all the issues and configuration stuff that people are having are with the Rift, and X-Plane is clearly developed on the Steam VR platform, you know, kind of like lined itself up. So let's see, right? They have the added bonus of it using Steam VR client as well. I'm sorry, Robert, do you mean the Vive? Jeff is saying he's thinking of going to Vive Pro too. Yeah, I mean, you know, for me it would be a complete system, because I need the cameras and, you know, the cameras and everything. It looks like it's a better headset. It's got the built-in headphones. You know, I don't know. I got like my mind on that. You know, that's like after my upgrade, getting things together to go to that. Yeah, the Vive has the advantage of X-Plane because they're using the Steam VR. Exactly, yeah, system for everything's Steam VR. So that's why you don't hear people complaining, because it's developed. I think it was developed and probably tested more on Steam. Either they did test it on the Rift. I'm sure most of the development was done with the Vive on. Everything that Rift is doing has to do with Steam VR client, so there's an extra layer of, yeah, exactly. It's like almost like X-Plane needs a Steam VR client and they need a Rift client. Like, I should say, X-Plane needs to have an API with the Steam client and an API with the Rift client. If they did that, you know, then we probably wouldn't be having these issues, because, you know, it sounded to me like from last night like they're kind of perplexed with ASW. And there you go, there's some work. That's all from scenery changes, right? But that, you know, when I started to hear that, I'm saying to myself, okay, maybe the Vive Pro is something you got to think about, you know, especially since it's going to have expanded resolution. And I know that once I start seeing people saying how brilliant the new resolution is, I'm going to want one, you know. So that's in the back of my mind. Probably be, you know, but I'd say it'd probably be, for the whole system, it's going to be about 800, I would bet. So, you know, I could sell my Rift, or I could keep the Rift. Might keep it just to have it around. But because it's probably, you know, I paid $800 for my system with touch controllers, and now it's half that. The wife will let you only buy so many toys. Yeah, I have a little answer to that, and the answer to that is called slush fund. You know, I don't make a lot of money from YouTube and Twitch and stuff like that, but I do make enough money to buy technology that I need to produce the stuff that I produce for the channel. And luckily, that's where all this stuff comes from. So it's kind of like a never-ending cycle of, you know, of technology purchase. Now my PC I built with my own money, but you know, like the graphics card and stuff, and this upgrade I'm going to be doing, and if I end up buying a Vive Pro. Luckily, because of the support from you guys on the channel, I'm able to put that money back into the channel, and that's, you know, kind of what I do. So right now, she's the only one oh, okay, she buys me enough toys, and yeah, well, if she's the only one working, then that's it. And you gotta abide by that, you know. Luckily, both of us have jobs, so we're, you know, doing all right. But yeah, so the Vive Pro is, you know, actually, I went on a little mission today to try to figure out the release date. I don't think the release date's been published yet, but my guess is it's probably March, somewhere around there. Has anybody heard? Oh, she's supporting why they go back to school. Okay, yeah, because you mentioned you had homework. You mentioned you had homework last night. So I might think to myself, oh, is he in college? And I thought you were a little older than that. But that's cool. That's good, man. That's good that she's doing that. You know, you gotta work as a team, as they say. But has anybody heard a release date for the Vive Pro? I mean, the other thing is, it would be kind of cool for it would kind of be cool for my channel to have both VR systems, both of the mainstream VR systems, I should say. I mean, there are others, you know, the Microsoft Windows mixed reality, and although I mean, I know they call it Windows mixed reality, but what are they doing with that headset that's mixed reality? Are they really? I haven't used one. Does it actually use the front cameras to do AR like HoloLens does, or is it just a VR headset that they decided to put the name mixed reality on because someday they're going to do it? I don't know. Yeah, they're still teasing, and there's summer, they're saying. Okay, so we got some time. Maybe that time Vulcan will be here and the Rift will be okay. But you know what? I think you're still going to want that resolution, you know, unless I don't know. So many decisions. That's the problem with the tech world today. There's so many options and so many decisions. Yeah, I mean, the look of it, yeah, I know, but is it actually AR? Like, what apps? I mean, what are they using that Windows mixed reality? Why do they call it mixed reality first? I can't stand that. Don't call it mixed reality. Call it AR. Because it's AR. Mixed reality is a marketing term that Magic Leap made up. Okay? Maybe HoloLens, I think they called it mixed reality too. But it's AR. You know? At least in my mind. But, I mean, are there actually AR apps for that headset? I've heard the tracking is pretty bad, like on the controllers and stuff. But it's all outside. It's all what they call it, the forward-facing tracking, whatever. It doesn't need cameras, right? They couldn't trade AR. Well, there's no way they probably couldn't trademark AR, but they can't trademark mixed reality either because other people have put their name on that. HoloLens, well, that's Microsoft. Magic Leap has called it mixed reality. So mixed MR is like AR. It's like a public meta term, if you will, you know. But I'd rather call it AR because that's really what it is. It's augmented reality. But my question is, I'm wondering do they actually have mixed reality application? There we go. I'm calling it mixed reality. Do they actually have AR apps for that headset? I mean, I don't know. Price is right. It's like, what, $400 or something? There's a couple people on VR Aviators Group that have one. But they haven't been, there's one guy that's been kind of outspoken, but there haven't been too many that have been too outspoken about it. I don't really know enough about it. You know, it came out well after I bought my Rift, so didn't have much interest in buying it. And then the Samsung Odyssey is the other one that apparently is people are having some success with. I don't know. I don't think the visuals are any better than Rift or Vive, so it's not like a next gen. Which I think we would call this. We're in the second generation, if you would call the DK1 first generation. So we're in second generation now with the Rift and the Vive CV1. Sorry, the Rift CV1 and the HTC Vive. Third generation, I guess, would be the Pro, and whatever, you know, if Oculus comes out with a Pro competitive headset, that would be like third generation. Odyssey has options to do both AR and VR. From the little you've heard, okay. So it's got forward-facing cameras. So does the Vive. I mean, the Vive has forward-facing cameras. I don't know if they has one. I think the Pro has two. So that would mean they're getting ready to do that. The Oculus obviously doesn't have any. That's completely a VR headset. But yeah, I think 2018 we're going to see some really cool stuff in the VR market as from a hardware perspective. You know, everybody's excited about PiMax coming out, and you know, we shall see on that one. The Vive was just the one from the original phone that they adapted it from. Oh, that's just the, okay, gotcha. So it has the original camera, I see. Yeah, so I mean, it's going to be interesting 2018. I think it really is, and I'm looking forward to what happens with PiMax. You know, I've been kind of like, my opinion of PiMax is not great, because I think that I don't like the fact that they called it an 8K headset when it's really two 4K displays, one per eye. It's really a 4K headset. So that kind of rubs me the wrong way. They called the first 4K headset, they called it 4K. It really wasn't a 4K, it was a 2K. Okay, it was basically what the Pro is going to be. You don't hear many people talking about PiMax 4K, but they certainly got a lot of Kickstarter money for the 8K, and about 15 million in VC money after that. So they got about $19 million. Pardon me, to come up with a product, and we shall see. No, I mean, it's deceptive. To me, that's deceptive. And maybe it's Chinese marketing, Chinese business thing or something. Like, it's okay over there to do that kind of, you know, misrepresentation. But in the United States, you don't call something that it's not, you know. And in Europe, you don't call something that it's not. You don't say it's an 8K display when it's really a 4K. That's, to me, that's... To me, it's not, you know, that's not on the up and up. You're giving people an impression of something that you really don't provide. And the other thing on their Kickstarter is that it's, you know, it's unknown. I think on the higher end PiMax, it's unknown what graphics card you're going to need. You may need two 1080 Ti's, which, by the way, not to change the subject, but along the same lines, I was looking today, and 1080 Ti's, the one I have, the EVGA SC2 card, is selling for like almost $1,400 because of because of cryptocurrency mining. I paid $750 for mine, so it's doubled in price in like 6-8 months. Yeah, I think you have to have two 1080 Ti's for the, what they call the 8KX, which is the higher end system. They have a medium 8K system that I think is one 1080 Ti, I think. Tech Radio is saying Q1 2018 with full kit coming out in the summer. Okay. So that means maybe full kit means the knuckle controllers. Now, you know, in 2018 though, they're going to have make the cameras available so you can get the whole setup. Anyway, the PiMax thing. So I think there's a higher end version, like an X version or something. I think that needs. They're saying that could either need two 1080 Ti's and SLI, or NVIDIA's next generation GPU, which hasn't even been announced yet. I mean, really? Okay, so you buy that thing, and either you spend $3,000 because they're $1,400. They're like $1,400 now for a 1080 Ti. You're going to spend $2,800 on graphics cards to run that thing? No. No. I gotta, I think a lot of people backed that Kickstarter not knowing what they were getting into from a hardware perspective. And by the way, you better be running an 8700 too. You got to remember, you're with that headset, even the lower end quote unquote 8K headset, you're driving two 4K displays. A 1080 Ti, the one I have on my computer, cannot drive two 4K displays. Yeah, I mean the cost of video. I mean, I looked at it today because someone mentioned it. I read something. I'm like, wow, that card is twice the price what I paid for. So I mean, I could sell it right now on eBay and double my money. But I wouldn't do that. But you could do that. And the thing is that I looked into it. For me, it's really because of my electricity costs. But 1080 Ti is not, I don't think, the greatest. Like actually, if your electricity costs are down, it's actually pretty good for mining. But I don't know, Jeff. I don't think they're going to be done with the 1080 Ti soon. I think, yeah, I would not buy a used one. I'll tell you that. I would not buy a 1080 Ti on YouTube, on eBay. Because like you said, they're all going to be burnt out. They're all going to be, they're running max 24/7 for, until you start to smell, you smell the plastic burning, Yeah, it needs to drive two 4K displays at 90 frames per second, right? And you need well, the monitor is not too bad, right? You could put the monitor on the motherboard, so I'll give him that. Well, no, 22.5 is a magic number for ASW. That's got nothing to do with the PiMax. PiMax is its own system, and I think it's based more on like the Vive kind of system. So I don't think that 22.5 comes into play there. Yeah, I looked at the 1080 Ti. It's not the greatest for mining, but still people I guess are using them because they can't get the other ones like you said. But it's crazy. It's crazy. It's just crazy. And Nvidia's loving it. Their stock is going crazy. But all it takes one major blip in the cryptocurrency market, which is going to be, that market's being manipulated, right? I mean, come on. It's a market that has no government regulation, right? It's got no regulation. You don't think that people are manipulating the shit out of that market? Are you kidding me? The big guys with the big money, oh, come on. They're making millions and millions of dollars manipulating. Well, no, SLI, you don't need SLI for X. Can't use SLI for X-Plane. What we're saying is you would need SLI to run the PiMax 8K on its own. You need the higher end version, you need two 1080 Ti's. Or what they said NVIDIA's next generation. It's on their Kickstarter. Go to their Kickstarter page. There's a little blurb in there. And it actually says that you may need NVIDIA's next generation graphics card. They don't even know the specs of it really yet. I mean, I guess they've been kind of announced, whatever it's called. I forget what it's called. But, yeah, it's crazy. I mean, good luck to anybody that invested in that. I'm glad I didn't. You're just about due for an upgrade. The market is already crazy. Like I said, the 1080 Ti is going to cost you $1,400. So, if you want to run a PiMax 8K, you got to spend $800 bucks for that thing. $800 for that. What was that? That was an explaining weird thing there. $2,800 for your 2 cards, so now we're at 36, right? 36, and you haven't built a PC yet. So now your PC is going to be probably another, let's 8,700K, and a couple of drives and blah 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 blah. So 12, right? So you're talking about $4,000. $4,000 to run a PiMax 8K. $4,000. Not me, dude. That's, you know, you got to be pretty dedicated to having, you know, having VR fidelity to spend that kind of money. No way. No way. There's no way. I think, you know, I don't know. I think I don't know. I have a bad feeling about PiMax 8K. I just do. I hope I'm wrong for those who invested in it. I really do, because I don't want to see anybody get burned. I just have a bad feeling about it. You have 2 tight Nexus. Okay, well. Yeah, they're $1,200 when the market's reasonable, right? I don't know what they are now. An 80 series card, no. Yeah, what I'm talking about is the fact that you're going to have to, for the PiMax 8K, with the unit itself, you're going to have to spend, without the unit, which is like $800, you're going to have to spend $3,200 on the PC to run it. Really? That's a lot, man. That's a lot. I don't know. My gut tells me stick with the main manufacturers. Vive Pro comes out, you're going to get a 70% increase in density, graphic density. That's a considerable amount. You're going to need a 1080 Ti to run it, but it's going to be a considerable amount. And my bet is that that's going to be, just like we were all kind of right about X-Plane VR, right? We all said X-Plane VR is going to be better than Fly Inside in a lot of ways, and it is. It's better visually, it's better performance-wise. Okay, you got a lot of, and it's better functionally. I mean, no bad about Fly Inside. They did a great job of getting VR X-Plane users to where we are now. But we all kind of knew it was going to be better, you know. But I think with Vive Pro, I think we're going to see the same thing. Even though the PiMax is so huge, yes, it is massive. How long could you ever use it for? Well, they actually, Linus Tech Tips did a pretty cool video on it. Look on YouTube, Linus Tech Tip Vive 8K. He talks about it, and he kind of complains about it too. I'm gonna bring this up here. Got a little time before we land. There it is, the 8K. So just so I'm not talking out of my ass here, all right? It's pretty big. So you got the 5K, which is $349. That's probably like, they call it a 5K, but it's probably like the Pro, right? The Rift, the Vive Pro. That's the 5K. 8K, which is really 2 4Ks, okay? Alright. They didn't really say anything about the GPUs in there. But the 4K, the 5K Deluxe, okay, they don't talk about big GPUs there. It's the 8KX. Okay? The 8KX. 8KX, the laser tracking integrated for the next generation GPU, support 8K input. 8K input at 90 Hertz Are they even testing this now? How could they build? How could they even test that if they don't have the GPU to test it? Like the GPUs aren't built to test it. Only for those who own a PC with at least a 1080 Ti still testing may need 1080 Ti SLI, which means 2 of them, or next generation graphic card NVIDIA Volta, CP7 and 16 gig of memory. Based on our test, no obvious difference in VR gaming experience between 8K and 8KX. So well, at least they're saying that. So at least they're saying you don't get any gain by having a system that requires 2 graphics cards. Yet 50 people backed it. Okay? So this is the one 8K, first 8K ever. Okay, so it's $500. $500. I don't know. It reeks. It does reek of vaporware. You know. I mean, if it's going to require Volta, how could they be even working on it? It's just the whiteboard product, right? No longer available. It's sold out. Every one of their things sold out. Wow, it's just amazing. How much is it? Where's the money? 4.2 million. Now, what I do like about this is some of these add-ons that they have, which are kind of cool, right? The prescription lenses, which is good. I like this fan thing. That's kind of cool. Eye tracking. Really? They've got eye tracking technology already? Really? Really? Come on. Have they shown the eye tracking? Hand motion module, okay. You notice they didn't put Linus's review in here, because Linus kind of nailed them a little bit. They're saying the headset's kind of light, so I don't know. I guess we'll find out. That's what it looks like right there. It looks pretty big to me. Anyway, Kickstarter's completely sold out, it looks like. Oh no, you still can get the 5K if you want. And you can get the 8K too. 500 bucks. Your laptop, yeah. Your dogs have eye track. I'll put my money down if it ever hits the street. Oculus and AGC will have lawsuits on them. Yeah, but you can't sue the Chinese companies. That's the problem. They don't really care about that. Who's that one company, Huawei, whatever it is? They've basically taken, I work in the networking industry, they've basically taken every Cisco router and reverse engineered it and sell it completely same exact system, all the same exact systems that Cisco sells. They completely reverse engineer things. You don't think they're reverse engineering over there up for this? Oh, they know you're looking at the treats. Yeah, eye tracking. That's pretty funny. Anyway, that's the rant about PiMax. I've ranted about it before. You know, I don't know. Well, like again, for those people that invested in it, I'm not dissing you or anything, and I hope it's what they say it is. It just, to me, it just seems a little hard to believe. You know. I mean, you got to think about that. 2 1080 Ti's running SLI, right? You better have like major cooling in that PC. You're gonna have at least an 8700 chip, probably, right? Or 77K, probably at least. I mean, you're driving two 4K displays. Unbelievable. The Tobal is an eye tracker. I tested it last year. It's now available in Alienware laptops. That's pretty cool. I haven't looked at that at all. Yeah, but this eye tracking, I think, well, you guys know it's a little different VR. But it should be interesting. Alright, we're coming to the end of the trip here. We got about, we got 42 miles left. Kind of a longer stream for me tonight, but I did want to get a round trip. Man, that plane looks good right there, doesn't it? I think that looks really good. I had a lot of fun doing the livery. You can check out the video on my Twitch channel, Bambino VR, on Twitch. Replay of creating this thing is about 4 hours long, so if you're really bored or you want to fall asleep, might be something you want to watch. But I'm also planning on doing a livery, a VR aviation livery for the B1900D. I think that's gonna be my next one. So I'll do a stream on that too. Kind of fun. Start that one from scratch. This one, when I started the stream, I had like a lot of it done. I was kind of tweaking it, but I think we're gonna do the B1900D. I've done a B1900D before. I did the Christmas one, and these are all on. I'll show you. These are all on the org. Let me pull that up here. Oh, I killed. Okay, why isn't my Chrome window coming up now? Damn it. I'm using this new streaming software. I'm using Streamlabs OBS. I've had some issues with it. I might have to go back to the regular OBS. For some reason now I can't get this up there. Let me try this again here. Okay, that works. There you go. Give me 1 second here, guys. Alright, what was I gonna do? Can't remember what the hell I was going to do. I got distracted. Oh well. Oh, I know what I was going to do. Let me show you the explain org. A few minutes here, and we'll go to downloads. And we'll go to liveries. Where the hell are they? Skins. Scroll down here and I'll show you where you can find it. Go on there and just search for, here it is. Just search for VR Aviation. This will come up. 49 downloads. And you go on Twitch. I've got this video of, actually they muted the audio, unfortunately, because I have music playing in the background, but it's me creating delivery. Kind of cool. Want to check that out. But I've got a couple other ones on here too. I've got this is the Santa Claus livery for the B1900D that I did just before Christmas time. You want to check that out? The reindeer on the side and the wreath, and it's got quite a few downloads. And for New York Yankee fans, like Boeing engineer, I think he's a Yankee fan. Did an SR-20 in the Yankee motif. Check that out. And then I've got the Bambino Games SR-20. Check that out. Download these on the org. Alright, so check that out. Cool. One last check at oh, we got 123. So we're approaching the milli mark. We got 907, almost 975 thou. So we're gonna break a million. Probably by tomorrow we'll break a million, which is nice. Nice day today, man. Some major. Yeah, some good flights today. Cool. Oh, looks like someone. You know what? I think someone gave us a donation because I'm like, why did it go up so much? Let me just go to banking. We can go to payment log, and looks like someone might have given us a donation. From there. I don't see any donations here. Well, it seems like someone must have, but I think I missed it. Showing you guys the books just to let you know I don't have anything to hide. Yeah, I don't see any. This is all today. See any big bumps, but I mean, we went to 100 and it's definitely a donation. Oh, Crash Diesel 60,000. Okay. Crash at Distal, thank you very much, man, for that donation. Awesome. That's where it came from. Like, why is it so much? Huh, for the KTTN plan. That's nice of him. Good job. Thanks, dude. Appreciate that. Everybody give him a shout out. That was awesome. All right, well, we're getting closer to the mark here. Let's go to my flight. All right, we'll close this down over here. Got that working. We're getting close to the end of our road here. So the other thing I wanted to talk about is I'm coming up to 10,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel. I think I've got 9,903 right now. So I'm probably a week away, maybe less, from hitting 10,000. And I do have a giveaway planned. We're going to be giving away an Aerosphere Simulations Seminole with a G1000, which just came out. I did a video on that last week. And thanks to those guys for sponsoring. And I'm also going to give a copy of XP Realistic Pro and a copy of Plane Command, which is a necessity for VR flyers. So those are going to be the things we're going to be giving away for the giveaway. It's going to be really easy to enter. A couple of different ways you can increase your chances to enter and to win. And it's just a way of saying thank you to you guys for supporting the channel and helping me get to 10,000 subscribers. I mean, a lot of, I started doing the X-Plane stuff probably last spring, and before that I was doing Train Simulator and some other things, and the majority of my subscriber base has turned over into flight simulation, VR flight simulation enthusiasts. So I really appreciate you guys supporting me and supporting the channel, and helping to build this genre that we all love, So anyway, should be a good giveaway, and I'm looking forward to hitting 10,000. Pretty cool. Yeah, Quasmi, if they manage to pull off eye tracking with peripheral vision, that would be amazing. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's going to get... I don't know. It's a complicated problem. We shall see what the PiMax come up with. We shall see. Do yourself a favor and watch, if you haven't watched it, Linus Tech Tips on YouTube, the PiMax 8K review, and watch that. He talks about his. And this was a demo unit, so we'll take that into consideration. But yeah, it's worth checking that out, for sure. All right, we are coming to the end here. You can see. We got the warbles. You know, the other thing that I noticed, and I think a lot of us have noticed, is that as X-Plane runs, the longer it runs, the longer that it runs, the more you get into judder and stuff. And I don't know what that is. Maybe that's something that'll be corrected, and maybe it's a creep issue. I don't know. You know, people like to use the term memory creep. Maybe it's a creep issue. I don't know. But I think it will be, you know, hopefully some of these things will get resolved as we get closer to, you know, closer to having, you know, or I should say, as we get the next release of the beta version, the preview beta version, and in any event, we shall see, I guess. Give me 1 second, guys. I'll be right back. Alright guys, I'm hoping for a Judder 3 free landing here. Before we do, I just want to mention, make sure if you haven't followed the Twitch, hit the follow button on Twitch, please do. And also hit the notify button, check mark notify, so that you'll get an email when I go live on Twitch, so you won't miss a stream. And don't forget to join the Discord. Don't forget to join Discord, Bambino Games Discord, and make sure you check that out. Good conversation there about our FSE group and PC building and all the different VR simulation stuff. So make sure you check that out. And the VR Aviators Discord, some good conversation there too, for sure. And also the VR Aviators group on Facebook, some great information there about configuration, especially for Oculus Rift, as we come to find out. And on Reddit, the VR Aviators subgroup. So make sure, or subreddit I should say, so make sure you check that out too. Alright, and don't let me forget to go over the financials after I land, because I always forget to do that. Now, let me get inside the plane here. Alright, looks like it's, we got some judder. I'll try to keep my head still. That could just be a scenery change. Alright, I'm gonna have to open up the window now, so let's see what that does. Now, as soon as I open up that window, it's running at 17 frames per second. That's not good. Alright, there's my runway. So I know where it is. I'm gonna close that now. Gives me more frames back. Like I said, when I flew out of here, it was fine. Now flying back, I've got judder. So, I mean, it's the same scenery area. So is that the software? Is that the simulator, or is it some sort of issue with creeping or something? I don't know. I don't write the code, you know, so it's hard for me to say. But it just seems, I am a software guy. My background is software design. It just seems to me that it should work the same as it did 2 hours ago when I was here, right? I shouldn't have judder. I didn't have judder 2 hours ago. I shouldn't have it now. Anyway, all right, autopilot's off. Start to slow that plane down. I mean, it is pretty smooth as long as I keep my head still. I don't turn it quickly. If I turn it quickly, I start to get judder. Now let's slow that plane down a little more. Over the Hudson, there's the East River right there. First notch of flaps. It's not too bad. It's not optimal, but as long as I keep my head still, it's not too bad. Second notch of flaps. Trying to land her around 75. I don't know if that's by the book. That seems to what works for me. We'll do a replay of the landing too. So we'll replay the landing and then we'll check the books. Coming to 80 knots. Not bad, right in the center line. Clean the flaps up. And let's exit the active. All right, what do you think on the landing, guys? 7? 8? Do I get as high as an 8? Set parking brake. Set parking brake.
Parking brakes set.
All right, let's do a replay here. Takes a little bit to rewind it. Change my view. Not a bad landing. Wave to the pilots. How you doing, buddy? What are you looking at me for, man? Look at the runway. They're both looking at me. That's weird. I don't know. What do you think? What's my rating? Nobody? FPM. What's FPM? I thought that was pretty smooth. All right. Let me kill the replay here. All right, back in the plane. Let me get in there and shut her all down. All right, let's see here. It's off. We want the battery off. We want the avionics off. And fuel boost off. And we're good to go. Everything's off. Cool. We're done. All right, let's check out the money. Let's see how we did money-wise. All right, let's go to log. Let's see, where are we? Bambino. What? Oh, here's the first. Where's the other one? Oh, did I not fly that for the group? Oh, shit. Are you kidding me? No, there it is. Okay. Or was that the first one? That was. Oh, I didn't end the flight yet. That explains it. FSEconomy, open it, finish flight. Okay, cool. It's like, why isn't it showing up? Log. So we made 2,600 for the group the first time, and here's the second one. And we made about $1,800 for the group. Not too bad. So, but we still made some money. Feet per minute. Thank you. Bogo, I'm not a real pilot. Come on, dude. You gotta give me a break. I'm not a real pilot. I just play one on Twitch. Feet per minute. Now it makes sense. Thank you. All right. So last 125. Thanks to Crash Dizzle for the nice dono. I think it was 60K, which is really nice. It helps the group out a lot, and I do appreciate. We all appreciate that. Thank you. And so we're getting close to that magic mill, and we're going to be doing our thing pretty soon here. So looking forward to that. In any event, that's just going to do it. It's just about going to do it for me. I appreciate you guys watching and hanging in there, and make sure you hit the. If you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget the like button, and subscribe to Bambino Games for more VR, X-Plane 11 VR, and FSEconomy, which is a lot of fun. If you guys aren't involved in FSEconomy, check it out. FSEconomy.com or .net, I believe it is. And if you decide to do it, join the VR Aviation Group. We've got a great group of about 40 guys that are people that are flying and trying to make money together and build an empire. It's a lot of fun, so make sure you check that out. Anyway, I'm out of here, guys. Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate all the chat and all the advice and information. And have a great evening, guys. Take care.